This is Dr. McDaniel at GYN Corner. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd. I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist here in New York City, Midtown Manhattan, and I'm bringing to you all things health-related for women. Thank you for joining me today at GYN Corner. Let's see, I always have to start off with the weather because it's it's the usual, debarkation point for conversations. So today is shockingly nice for the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey. In October, it's going to be 89 degrees today, which is crazy. This morning when I left the house, I leave kind of late. I leave at 8:45, but it was already 75 degrees, so it's crazy. We were in Virginia this past weekend at Busch Gardens, and we were there this past weekend on Sunday this week. It was 93 to 95 degrees there, and I was like, wow, it's because we're right at the beginning of the South. It's really hot and humid here, and I was surprised. It came back here, and Monday it was nice. Tuesday it was in the 70s, and today 90s. That's 89, 90. Actually, it says 89 to 90, and then 90 to 93, depending on the report you look at. But it's really nice today, so we'll try to cherish the nice weather this week while we can. My prayers are getting answered. We're getting an Indian summer, so we'll see. But let's see. Today, as I stated on the presentation, I am answering a viewer question. Finally, another viewer question. I appreciate questions. It just makes life easier for the presentations just to answer questions. Kind of like in the office, I just answer questions all day. So this viewer question, at first when I read it, I thought it was kind of silly. The question was, my girlfriends and I are having a debate, should or shouldn't one wear underwear with yoga pants? What's the best health regimen? To wear underwear, not wear underwear? First I thought it was silly because I thought, well, of course you should wear underwear with yoga pants. Like you're in the gym, you're around other people, you should have underpants on. Panties. But when I thought about it, I thought, well, let me think about this and let me see I don't really know what material yoga pants are made out of, what the story is. I do know that oftentimes when I have patients who come into the office with issues, either frequent yeast infections or kind of a skin irritant, rash from constant sweat, moisture, what I call a jog itch for non-jogs. It's from constant sweat or moisture on the skin. So I will usually tell them no tight-fitting clothing, no spandex or lycra, loose-fitting clothing. Cotton is the best. Cotton and silk are the best materials because they're breathable, air circulates. The sweat is wicked off the skin when you are active. But I thought about it, well, everyone who does yoga, they're going to wear yoga pants. And some people do the Bikram yoga where it's like 105 degrees. So they're sweating a lot. It's very hot. That's the purpose of it, to be hot and to sweat, kind of get the impurities out. So I thought, let me look at, sending a message to the girls, let me look at materials that are in yoga pants and see if it will make a difference if you have underwear, because my first inclination was to say, yeah, you should wear cotton underwear because that's breathable and have that under the yoga pants. But after looking into it, I don't think that's actually the best option. I think the best option you'll hear in a moment. So all yoga pants are a blend of different materials, a blend of lycra, a blend of spandex, nylon, polyester, wool, which is shocking, cotton, or even bamboo. So some of the most popular brands are a blend of nylon and lycra. Excuse me. Very few of the upper crust, the more expensive versions are going to have a blend of nylon and a blend of lycra. And some of them will have a blend of spandex and a blend of So the question is, what's going to be the best material to basically either absorb or wick the sweat away from the skin? Well, I realized that absorbing and wicking are two different things. I thought it was the same thing, but it's not. So absorbing is when a material, absorbing is when a material soaks the sweat up from your skin and it pulls the sweat up from your skin and it holds on to it. And that's different from wicking. So wicking is when a material pulls the sweat up from your skin, it does not absorb it, it expels it to the external surface. So obviously, if you think about it, an absorbent material is not going to be as good for activities that produce a lot of sweat as a material that wicks. Now, when I looked into the different types of materials like lycra versus spandex, spandex is actually the same thing as lycra, and it's just a synthetic fiber that's extremely elastic. It's made from different types of man-made materials. So it's basically just a stretchy material. Spandex is also called lycra, and it's also called It's also called elastane. I had never actually heard of elastane, so you learn something new every day. I think most of us have heard of lycra and spandex, and we know that they're mostly stretchy materials and they're man-made. That's all they are, synthetic stretchy materials that are man-made. Nylon is also a man-made material. It's a different type of chemical or different types of bonds than the spandex is, so it's less of a stretchy material as lycra and spandex is. It's more of a silky, smooth, pliable material. And of course, wool and cotton are natural fibers. Wool is really well known for being highly absorbent. Cotton is really well known for being highly absorbent, and the best cotton is the Egyptian cotton, highly absorbent and still highly pliable. You do have some man-made types of cotton blends. Those are more man-made. So when it comes, and then bamboo, of course, is also a man-made material. It's not as breathable as cotton is, where air can flow through it as nicely, but it is absorbent and it's highly pliable and it's highly durable. So when you're looking at the yoga pants and you're looking at lycra or spandex versus nylon, nylon is actually going to be the best material out of the two because it wicks the sweat better than the spandex and the lycra. But spandex or lycra will wick sweat better than cotton does. Cotton is absorbent, so with cotton, it's breathable. If you just wear cotton, if it's 100% cotton, whether it's close fitting or loose fitting, the cotton will absorb the sweat. But the best is going to be a loose fitting cotton where it absorbs the sweat and then the air flows through it and it's able to dry. If it's a close or form fitting cotton, it's going to absorb the sweat from your skin, but it's not going to dry. It's going to just sit there in the material. It's going to stay wet. That's kind of like a headband or wristbands versus jogging shorts or a t-shirt. Now, nylon versus lycra. Nylon is a silky smooth, pliable. The lycra, or the spandex and lycra, is more stretchy. They're both wicking, but apparently the nylon wicks better at pulling out the sweat, keeping it on the surface, and then it can air dry from being on the surface. So if you have material that pulls the sweat away and then it expels it, which is what nylon does, and allows it to get to evaporate, that's going to be a better material for a yoga pant than a material that's just going to pull it out, but it's not going to expel it as well. And in saying that, that's because if the sweat's pulled away, it's going to diminish the possibility of a jock itch type of thing, rash from the skin being constantly wet, or a diaper rash. Diaper rash is the same thing, from the skin being constantly wet. So itching, burning, swelling, stinging, discomfort, and then of course a yeast infection or even a pH imbalance that can cause a bacterial infection is going to be less likely, even if you're working out multiple hours a day, 7 days a week, because you don't have that hot, sweaty moisture staying right there on the skin as you would with cotton. So one, and I'm not advertising anything, but I did look at a few of them, and one of the popular yoga pants is called Lululemon or Lululemon, and that one is 86% nylon and 14% lycra. So that is going to be a good type of yoga pant because it's going to be flexible and stretchy, and it's going to wick the sweat away from the skin. It's going to expel it on the surface of the material. It's going to evaporate. So I would recommend a material that's mostly nylon with a little bit of lycra or spandex, and not wear underwear with it. Of course, yoga pants are thick, so you're not going to be able to see through them, and you're not going to have issues with constant sweat, moisture, and potentially diaper rash type of problems. So what I thought was a silly viewer question actually was a really good viewer question. I learned something about different types of materials. So I hope that's been helpful information on, should you wear underwear, should you wear panties, or should you go, what do they call that? Go, not full Monty, but there's another word for that. Should you go, I'll think of it later. Should you go without underwear when wearing yoga pants? And the answer is yes, you should, depending on the material of the yoga pants. If it's mostly nylon with a little bit of spandex or lycra, then you shouldn't wear underwear. You're going to stay the healthiest as far as the nether regions go with that combo. This is Dr. McDaniel at GYN Corner. Thank you for joining me. Please click the follow and the subscribe buttons so you can get a heads up on the presentations, what's being presented, when they're being presented, and hit the like buttons to let me know that you enjoy what's being presented. Please check out the YouTube channel. It's GYN Corner. Click the like, follow, subscribe buttons for the YouTube channel, GYN Corner. And if you have a commute, or if you're working at your desk, you like to listen to information, check out the podcast. I started the podcast last month, beginning of September, and it's called, guess what? GYN Corner. So check out the podcast. We're on Apple, iTunes, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor. There's 8 different platforms on podcasts, and please place a review to let others know what you enjoy about GYN Corner, and encourage them to check out the podcast, the YouTube, and the Facebook. If you're in the tri-state area, come on by. I'd love to meet people who follow the presentations. We're in Midtown Manhattan, west of the Empire State Building, and right around the corner from Macy's and Penn Station. And we take, walk-ins every day from, if you call in the morning, we take walk-ins every day that we're open. Appointments on the web page, which is midtowngyn.com. So hope I got all that information out. Everyone have a great rest of your Wednesday, and enjoy the wonderful weather if you're here in the tri-state area. Thank you for joining me. Bye.